last time on the wilds of Valandiir, the Crown Collectors, having bested the demonic incursion into our realm in the form of a Cambion who had sort of taken over a western town, the town of Cobb, and made it his own domain, along with his main henchman, the horrible, visceral orc sheriff, Gorg. However, you and your party had bested the two of them and sent them packing, not before one of your party, Maven, sacrificed her own freedom in this realm to banish the Cambion scourge to its own realm and followed him into it to ensure that he never returned. You were all left reeling from this sudden and abrupt loss as the portal closed behind her, exiling her to this demonic dimension. But before you had a chance to really mourn and grieve, there was the business of an unstable fane of magic energy that was in the chamber with you. Yuno taking the lead with the other magic users, kind of following him into this realm of magical energy. You were able to solve the puzzles and the riddles of kind of reorganizing the lattice of energy into a cohesion that allowed the fane to exist in this realm without it being chaotic and dangerous. And as you were spit back out into the material realm, your friends Axton and Baranor, now fully restored and conscious, greeted you as Yuno gripped what was thought to be some sort of gate key into the fane itself, a magical wand of white lattice, kind of crystallized material that at the completion of your puzzle journey, learned that it was some sort of artifact left to him by the god of magic, Cobb. It wasn't too long before a reunion of sorts where you shook hands with each other. Koza reunited with his imprisoned daughter, Nila, that you made arrangements to leave the Granite Mine by the grace of what seemed to be the new sheriff in town, the Lionfolk Wrayce. He bade you all farewell as he exited the cave to sort of organize the exodus from the mine of everyone who had been wrongfully imprisoned by Gorg and Zarlik, the Cambion creature in disguise. And that's kind of where we left it, where you all sort of gathered at the jail to collect your belongings that had been secured for you. I don't know if we quite talked about loot. We can kind of do a little. I feel like we kind of rushed getting out of there. So I know Koza picked up Gorg's shotgun. There were a number of rifles and pistols that were strewn about the room before you guys left. I don't know if you guys have any interest in any of those. We can go through that. So if we want to retroactive a little bit of inspection or business within the mine, we can go ahead and do that. If anybody's got anything pressing, speak up, or we can go down the Discord line.
I'm okay with a little bit of looting.
Okay. I
didn't finish the session from last time. Was Maven's fate discussed?
Well, that's a good question.
Who weren't conscious when it happened?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
What happened, y'all?
I'm sorry. Come again? You kind of lost me there.
I didn't finish watching last session, so I don't know. Baranor was not conscious when Maven disappeared.
Okay.
Has that been discussed?
Oh, that's right, because you were out. You never saw it happen.
Yeah. I was out. Baranor was out before the end of the fight.
Okay. So
I didn't know if that had already been brought up, in which case I would,
No, I do not believe we did not get you. We did not bring conscious Baranor up to speed.
Or Axton, I guess.
Or Axton, who we'll say he's kind of looking around going like, we're Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will tell him that she is gone to us. She is gone.
What does that
Megan
mean?
bravely sacrificed herself to plunge through the portal to keep Cambion at bay, to keep him from incurring into our dimension. She closed the portal.
Cambion?
Yes, the preacher. Turns out that guy was actually, a Cambion demon from hell trying to take over this area. Actually did take over the area.
Okay. And what portal are we talking about here?
And
the thing that I touched?
We had tried to, banish him back. We destroyed him, or so we thought, but then he would just go back to his home dimension and then just port back over here.
Is that the plane shifting that Koza, I think you do?
Yeah, I mean, it had to have been. I mean, there aren't that many other ways to travel to other dimensions like that.
Right. Okay. So the fact that he's not here means she's still fighting, right?
That's what we're hoping.
That's what we're hoping.
So, do we need to do something about that? We found her once before.
Yeah.
Is this true?
Yeah, Axton's just kind of like pawing at the puddles of tar that each time Zarlik was killed, he kind of was rendered to like a puddle of goo, and he's just like, either she's fighting him still or he's dead and she can't get back.
All right.
I'm going to say, Corvish, you definitely are reminded of a little floating spark that you collected.
Right. Yeah. And I will pull it out and I'll say, this is what remains of the portal that she traveled through. And would you say it's like about the size of a tangerine?
About the size of like a quarter or $50. It's not very big.
Okay,
you can hold it. You can hold it in your hand.
Okay. So
and the more closed fist, you definitely feel the pain of like, it's almost like closing your hand around a sparkler. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't burn, but it definitely like hurts a little if you touch it too much.
Mm-hmm. So maybe when we get back to our home environment, we research this. But right now, all I really want to do is get that.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
So you mentioned looting. So all I need is 2 separate investigation rolls from either of you.
Okay.
I'll definitely chip in on that.
Okay.
I got a 23 for investigation.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the intelligent one, so you can roll at advantage. Will help.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that.
Both of us at advantage, or just you?
Either one. I'll just one at advantage. I think is probably good enough.
Okay.
So Baranor, if you want to roll at advantage, you can, because I got a 23.
Okay. Was that a flat roll or with advantage?
That was a flat roll.
Okay.
So you roll advantage, because either way will probably be pretty high.
Probably. I'll guidance myself as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then guidance. And I could psychic knack that even further.
You could? Come on, man. You know me. I love to see how high. Oh, wow. I love to see how high you can get.
39.
Don't ever think that I'm against it.
Well, technically, psychic knack is only if you fail a roll. So,
right?
Is it? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But if your DC is like, I've said
it's not that bad. I must have just pushed that out of my mind.
Yeah. But I feel like, if there were certain levels of a check, not meeting the top requirement could be considered a failure.
All right. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the 20 or the 31.
The 31. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Moving forward, I will remember that it's only if it fails. And I'm cool enough to let you know that, hey, you failed.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the weird things of the ability is it kind of has to force the DM's hand a few times, but
yeah, well, that's okay. You guys don't metagame me, so I'm willing to tell you whether or not it fails. So I'm just getting rid of these imps.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as possessions on, so Gorg's body. I don't know if you remember this or even knew this. Gorg's body was completely exploded.
Several pieces. Yeah.
Yes, he's there. Yeah, you do have a chunk of his skull. It's got one of his tusks, and the rest of his body is pretty visceral and gory. Koza got his. He doesn't have many possessions. He didn't have. I'll say that his trousers that you can rifle through doesn't have anything in his pockets. Although you do get his silver star. That was on his chest. It is the symbol of Zalric. It's a 7-pointed star, but it looks kind of like a set of wings. Pretty sure everybody has seen that already.
Yeah.
It's definitely made of silver. So I'll say, you get the feeling it's probably worth somewhere between 2 to 3 pieces of gold. The Wranglers that had been killed, 2 of them have lever action rifles. 2 of them have 2 pistols each, so 4 pistols, 2 rifles. And I'm gonna roll and see how much gold they have. Let's do. Okay, so between the 4 of them, they've got 130 pieces of silver. And we'll do that again. And 12 pieces of gold. So, not the richest bunch in the world, but it's there. You're still standing there holding this, this. It's a wand. It's in its wand form right now. Or actually, I think it's in its scepter form. But this white crystalline lattice, very delicate, geometric fractal kind of cylindrical object that you've been holding. And until you get your wand of identification back, you don't really know what it does. It does thrum with arcane power.
I'm gonna lick it.
You're gonna lick it?
Oh,
it tastes like licking a battery. There's just like a little ambient electrical energy that sort of tickles your tongue, and it tastes slightly salty. But yeah, the civvies that are slowly coming to on the pile of the civilians, slowly kind of rising to their feet and making their way. They're looking around all confused, and they're kind of filing out of the mine. Is there anything anybody would like to do in the mine? Because we can fast forward to you guys sort of gathering your gear and, coming to grips with what's going on back at Cobb, if you wish.
You can't really think of anything unless there's, if we want to go rifle through the contraband.
What contraband would that be?
Where we had to take the worm's teeth to the shack there where all the confiscated items.
Oh yeah. I mean, business is still happening in the mine. It's not like not everything is shut down for sure.
So, I mean, we could just get out of here too.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
We'll say the rest of you.
I say we get the hell out of this desolate place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done here.
Okay. We do a classic Scooby-Doo wipe. And you all find yourselves kind of gearing yourselves up, pulling on your armor pieces, going through your inventory, making sure that everything is everything is there that you had before you were imprisoned. And it is. You guys can go ahead and assume your old inventory, your weapons, your armor, your items. Be sure to add what you have received while in the mine to your inventory. Some of you got some interesting little trinkets and doodads, and some of you got some interesting like minerals and stuff that you mined. Don't forget to keep those if you wish. They're valuable in gold at the very least.
I also get a pouch to bundle Maven's.
You get a pouch, you said?
Or a sack, something that that we can take Maven's.
All right, and I did put that in the chat, I believe, the session content of her belongings. So if you guys, if anybody wants to divvy any of that up or add her gold to the kitty, that's totally up to you. I mean, Baranor, you're definitely eyeing her cobalt dagger.
My cobalt dagger, but it was hers. I think it was hers the whole time. No. I don't touch it. That's for her when she comes back.
Okay. Yeah, there's the earring. She's got one of the crescent moon earrings.
I would imagine she still has that on.
No, it says, yeah. I don't know.
No, she didn't. It was taken.
It was taken.
Yeah, it was all taken. All of your possessions were taken from you.
Okay, got it. I understand it.
And you're all kind of like going through your stuff, and Kravish is in a pouty way putting her things into. Not that she didn't. I'm guessing she had like either like a hip bag or some kind of like small pack that she carried with her at all times. But you're able to kind of get her stuff together. I don't think there's really a whole lot of big things that she carried aside from her burn stick, which she took with her. But yeah, so
and
you guys are. Nope, go ahead.
And I'll explain that I was charged to do a few things with this money. So
okay. Yeah. Is that something you want to do now or later?
No, it was. It's for when we get back. She had charged me to make sure that the orphanage remains taken care of.
Gotcha. Well, you guys are kind of like you're in the sheriff's office, the jail where your stuff was kept. You guys spent a little bit of time in the holding cells. There's about 8 of them, and it's you can hear an energy out in the thoroughfare of the town of something of relief, something of bewilderment, confusion. And it's about that time that the light in the doorway of the sheriff's office is darkened by a massive silhouette. So, everything where you figured it would be?
Okay, I'm assuming this is Wrayce?
Yes, he steps through the threshold. His clothes have somewhat improved. It looks like he has at least been outfitted by the local leathersmith in something a little more befitting of authority other than his prison rags. His feline feet in these large black boots that come to the knee. He's in a pair of fresh blue jeans, tanned shirt, and a leather vest with a fresh platinum 6-pointed star on his chest.
Well, I must say, I like the looks of that star far better than I did this one, holding up the previous sheriff.
Yeah, we're looking forward to moving in a different direction than the previous administration. And he kind of like points over his shoulder, and from the sheriff's office, he kind of steps out and regards all of the thoroughfare as you guys kind of slowly follow him out, cinching your armor and pulling the straps of your packs tight. You can see the church of Zalric a bit away, not completely next to the sheriff's office, but close to it. And you can see people on the roof just like hitting the large brass 7-pointed star with hammers and axes, and it finally gives and leans and topples to the ground, spilling dirt all around it as it impacts. And you can see that there are Sisters of Zalric being escorted out, and not necessarily in chains, but looks like they're being kind of kept together by a couple of Wrayce's men. It's going to be a good bit of time. Sorry, it's going to be a good bit of time before the folk truly trust a tin star in this town again. But, we're going to do our very best to earn that trust.
If you would like, I can make some inquiries in Dane to see what resources the knighthood has to offer in terms of legal and military aid, just to help get things settled. Because he kind of cases to re-adjudicate.
Yeah, he kind of gives you kind of a raised eyebrow. And he takes this big, huge rifle and just slings it over his shoulder. He's like, appreciate the kindness and the thought, but we tend to take care of our own this far east of the Empire, their part. Besides, I got plenty of men to keep the peace around here. And you see a couple of his sort of unofficial underlings from the mine are also wearing these silver 6-pointed stars, and just kind of one of them's kind of got a tipped down cowboy hat with his hand on his hip. He's got a gun there. He's also got a sword on his back, and they're just kind of scanning around and keeping their eyes on the streets and just keeping an eye on things.
All right. Well, here is one souvenir from here. I really would rather leave. And I reach up with my claws and I rip that collar off.
Yeah. No need for a roll. Yeah, you see a few collars too, kind of on the ground, and there's like a bald, toothless town folk sweeping them up and putting them in like a refuse pile. There's lots of refuse piles, by the way. There's it looks like they're kind of cleaning up iconography throughout the town, and maybe some literature getting thrown in piles and things like that. And yeah, these collars are also getting excited, and it's that moment that you rip that collar off. Axton reaches up with his wooden arm and pulls his off as well. He's like, yeah, this thing was too tight. Anyway, and he tosses it to the ground, which inspires Nila to reach up, and she tries to pull it off, and it's a little thick for her strength, so she just unbuckles it and slips it loose and looks down at it, and just a couple of tears just sort of fall down her cheeks as she drops it to the ground at her feet. She kind of looks at Koza, and she's like, I have to check on the Weave children. I left them with the doctor, and she offered to watch them while I was taken down to the mine, but I need to make sure they're okay. Will you come with me, Dad?
Sure, let's go.
All right, and the two of them kind of she grabs his hand and just sort of drags him down the street towards wherever they're at.
I will excuse myself from the group.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Wrayce just kind of keeps that rifle resting on his shoulder as he kind of kicks dust and gives like a slow cowboy stroll across the street and keeping an eye on things. Mind you, he's also wearing a very tall hat that sort of accentuates his tall ears, and he just kind of looks from left to right as he approaches you guys. And so, now that you're no longer bound to this town legally, what's next for the crown collectors?
Going back to the Empire and having them annex this bitch-ass place.
Annex the Empire? Nah, I don't think we're going to take too kindly to outside influence. But you go ahead and make your case. We'll definitely be here if you're feeling your oats to take over Cobb.
Home. Go home.
Oh, home, eh? Well, where is that?
You know, and around Heistel. That's where our keep is.
Y'all got yourselves a keep. Well, fancy. Most of us make do sleeping on the ground with a campfire keeping us warm, but
we've had plenty of our days of that.
Oh, yeah. Us adventurous types got a pretty good handle on sleeping on the ground. Gotta tell you, it's gonna feel good sleeping on something besides a stone slab tonight.
Indeed.
All right, well, folks, it's been a real pleasure, and I certainly do extend a heartfelt thank you on behalf of everyone here at Cobb on your assistance and, well, damn near independent action on keeping this place from slipping under the yoke of that bastard Zalric. You've left a mark here, and that's to be commended. I'm glad to see that there are still adventurers out there willing to put their neck on the line for other folks, so you have my thanks.
You're welcome. Feel free to stay in.
Y'all have...
Take us out.
Of course. Y'all have a good day now. I'm going to attend to my duties as the newfound sheriff, and we'll see you on down the trail sometime.
Very well. Take care.
And with that, he's going to kind of turn and continue his leisurely stroll, looking left and right, keeping an eye on things. And you see him kind of like point at a couple that are sort of fighting over some kind of object from a refuse pile, and he kind of barks at him a little, and they split up and slink away, and he just kind of disappears amongst the traveling folk of Cobb.
Well, looks like this town's in much better hands than the way we found it. So, what do we say we go grab a pint and wait for Koza?
Okay. The copper nickel is no longer shut from you. You are allowed to partake of its wares. A lot of people cause for celebration. And as soon as you enter, there's a couple of people that you recognize from the mine. They sort of spread the word. They eventually kind of surround you, and you get pints and turkey legs kind of shoved under your chin as people are eager to buy you a drink and celebrate the liberation of Cobb from its overlord. It's not too long before you see the towering figure of Koza kind of step under the threshold and with his daughter and 6 little children in tow. You see Nila kind of grab a couple pints and bring it over to your table, and she kind of gives the kids who all sit at their own little kiddie table, they get glasses of milk.
Okay. So what's next for you guys? Are you going to stay here in Cobb with the children?
No.
What's the next step?
No, I don't plan on staying here. It's too many uncomfortable memories.
Agreed.
But I was talking with Dad, and he mentioned you guys have this keep, and that there you've got plenty of room, and looks like I might be bringing the Weave children with me, and we might stay and look after your flock of sheep and such, and just kind of get away from this place.
Sure. Yeah. Mentally calculating where the hell we got space for 6 kids.
Well, you do have space in the keep for, there's 4 towers.
Right.
And each tower is multi-floored. You also have an extensive servant quarters as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like a little building off the side with it. There's also like a barn and where your lives, you got sheep and horses and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of like acreage because you guys do live on top of a mountain.
Right.
But
no, we good. Yeah, sure. So after we get our horses and everything, any way you can help shorten the trip back home?
Yes. Depends what's in it for me. I know I can get me there. The rest of you, I don't know. It's pretty suspect, but yeah, I can get us all back.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you.
It's about this time that Axton's wrist on his prosthetic arm just starts spinning uncontrollably. And he's like, oh, man, hold on a minute. And he just like grabs it and it's like shaking and shaking. And one of the gears like pops out and he's like, I really need to like work on this and maybe, I don't know, come up with something a little better. And it's about that time that you see a little tiny gnomish fella with a white beard kind of walk up.
Uh-huh.
And he's got like a big wooden crate that looks like it's strapped to his back. It's huge. And he's just kind of plugging along. And he goes, well, it sounds like Fink is going to be, I was talking to Fink. He might take up residence down in Heistel.
Really?
And Fink just kind of looks up. He's like, oh, yeah. It's sounds like a nice town, and looking for a place to put down stakes and kind of carve out a some semblance of life. And sounds like it doesn't exactly have a lot of artificing in the town itself. So maybe I'll find a nice little shop to rent out. And I think it's going to be a nice little situation, and I might even figure out a way to spruce up Axton's arm that I gave him. And Axton like literally pulls his hand off of his wrist. He's like, yeah, this definitely needs an upgrade.
All right. So we'll have our nice little end of sitcom, laugh, freeze frame, and
yeah. It's the kind of the mid-afternoon, so you guys are enjoying a nice lunch, and there's people strumming banjos and guitars up on stage. Everyone seems to be carousing and celebrating and having a good time.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Could we not before?
No, you couldn't hear me.
Oh, what were you saying?
Oh,
probably something like
a whole lot of stuff.
Hello.
Yeah. I've been talking this whole time and no one's heard me. So.
That's too okay. So we can kind of what's the interjection you had?
I was just, what's the next plan? What are we doing? Are we going back to the keep? What's going on?
Yes, I think that's the plan, with some new friends and neighbors in tow.
Okay. Yeah. So what was that?
Okay.
What was that last part?
With some new friends and neighbors in tow.
Yeah. I was saying that we are missing one thing from this little adventure.
Yeah.
We did not acquire any real estate.
That's true. Although I think if you were to inquire, I'm sure they'd be inclined to let you guys lease some kind of shack or shed someplace, just to say you had.
The whole town is now ours.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, definitely. I gotta go way back to find this, though. Baranor, as you are kind of, looking around, you definitely feel a tug of mental energy. It's one that you recognize.
Yeah.
And trying to think if I have it. Do I have it? Do I not have it? I'm just going through my session content here. Hold on. I don't think it's on there. Anywho, in your mind, you feel the presence of a female canine persuasion, and you feel like a reconnection.
Mm-hmm.
It's far away. It's not within Cobb.
Yeah.
And you feel through her 3 little consciousnesses.
Mm-hmm. I believe I knew that already. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely a sense of relief. Anyone who really is looking at Baranor is just like would see him just like sudden relief on his face for no reason.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, did you just have a happy thought and need a minute?
Yeah.
Let's see here. No, I don't think I sent it to you.
No, I don't think you sent me anything or picture-wise, but I think you...
I thought I did. I thought I put it up.
I thought you mentioned that there were 3, because she let me look at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember. I don't think you showed a picture.
No. Why not?
I think you teased that you had one, and then you didn't do anything after that.
It's not in session content.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me on everybody else as I desperately try to find this adorable picture that I am having trouble finding. Nope. Where is? Because it was cool. I know this is very interesting content right here. As I desperately search my different places that I keep images, you'd think I should probably put it all in one place, but I don't because I'm stupid.
Well, nobody does these days.
And there really is like 15 places that it could be. Anywho, it doesn't matter because this this thing and its 3 little things are not here. They are somewhere else. So,
Okay.
you all have kind of the run of the place. What would you all like to do?
I say let's all just focus on getting out of here as soon as able, helping the kids and getting their possessions bundled up and get ready to go, make arrangements on horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have been imprisoned for, I believe, 2 months.
Oh yeah.
At least close to it.
Did I pick
In
I have
that time, you have what?
sending. I picked up sending. So I'm going to send a message. I'm going to use sending to send a message to our major domo. Was it Clyde?
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm going to send a message to him saying, like, sorry for the long delay, unlawfully detained.
Do we really want to tell him that?
Contact us via mirror after sunset.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a couple of seconds of, mental acuity it's not exactly the most. It's a bit jarring when someone's voice enters your head that you weren't expecting.
Yeah. He's like moving a china plate or something.
But after about 15 seconds, you do hear Clyde's voice in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Understood, Master Kravish. Very glad to hear of your liberation. I'm sure you'll have lots of stories to tell once you return. The keep will be ready. Not to worry.
Okie doke. All right, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I just had to push the button there to trigger the spell slot being used.
Got it.
Oh, okay. Hello?
Hello. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you guys to continue with what you wanted to do.
Well, I just got real quiet. I'm like, now did my headphones go out?
So, yeah, I mean, I put what I thought about.
Okay. I'll say that Fink and Nila and the six Weave children and Axton, they all kind of gather near the party and await your departure.
All right.
I mean, I'm ready to get us out of here whenever you guys are good to go.
The firearms, are they just standard ones, like from that are like D&D specific, or are they custom?
No, those are homebrewed. It depends on how many you procured. If you wanted to just take the 4 that you got from the cave, or if you wanted to, you guys do know somebody that deals in firearms. He's a dog folk.
That's right. We're really early in the whole.
He's an artificer that lives in the town of Cobb, and I think he gave. I think has 2 pistols that he bought from that guy, or at least 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys, I guess you've got those 2 pistols. They have 6 bullets. You didn't. I don't think you purchased a ammo belt. But every gun that you have, I'm just gonna blanket it with, has 6 rounds of ammunition. The rifles are 1d10. The pistols are 1d8. It's with your non-proficient attack bonus, because none of you are proficient in firearms.
Okay.
Koza, you have a double-barreled shotgun. It's got 2 bullets.
So both the rifles and the pistols are 6 rounds?
Sorry?
Both the rifles and the pistols are 6 rounds?
Yes. The rifles have a little reservoir inside of them that has spare ammunition.
Like a carbine kind of thing?
Yeah. Yep. That's kind of what it is. It's like a lever action carabine rifle. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm sure will pretty quickly figure out how to manufacture more ammunition.
Ranges?
It's this. Just treat it as the range of a bow.
A longbow? For both, or for just the rifle?
Short bow for the short bow for the pistols, long bow for the rifle.
All right. And they do fire damage or piercing damage?
Piercing.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The bullet goes in and out.
Hey,
All right. So you're all gathered at a relatively empty, kind of behind one of the taverns, empty part of town. I don't know if do you need burnable materials to do a transportation circle,
No burnable material, just special ink, which I have.
Okay. I think it takes you something like 10 minutes or something. A minute?
Nope.
Yeah. And your circle kind of, as you finish and leave like the last little glyph so that everybody can be ready. It's about that time that Baranor, you look over your shoulder and you hear.
You cut out. I didn't hear that.
You hear a howling.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Uh-oh. I don't think he can hear
Anybody?
me. We can hear you.
We can hear you. I don't think you can hear Joe.
I don't think he can hear any of us.
I don't think he can hear us either. Here, let me... Okay.
Okay. I couldn't hear any of you.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, you faded. You're like Baranor, and then you faded out.
Aw.
And it showed that I was the only one talking in the group.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
No, as the as Yuno sits and gets to where he's about to finish the transportation circle, you hear a howling behind you.
Oh.
You look in there. You see Luna, and she kind of approaches you from behind a large rooted tumbleweed, and just on the lake's shore. And emerging from behind her are 3 little wolf pups.
Yay!
One is black, just like her, black with blue eyes. Another bigger pup has the colors of what you could only assume would be her father, of summer wheat with amber eyes. But the third, the runt of the litter, is a healthy mix of the two, with stripes of tan running through a dominant black coat. He has 1 blue eye and 1 amber eye. And he's the one who kind of instinctively runs up to you and hops right into your arms.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
He kind of nips your nose, and it hurts. He's got little needle teeth. And I'm just reading what Steph is posting.
Yeah, I saw it.
He bites your nose, and you feel it smarts, and then he starts licking it, and Luna just kind of like sits with her tail wagging, and her other 2 pups kind of on either side of her, and that's when the circle lights into activation. And Axton is the first to grab Fink and jump into the teleportation circle.
Okay. I'll guide the rest of them in too.
One by one, boom, 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 you all enter the circle. And you are thrusted forward into the ether. And you all feel a tug of strange energy. And it's a little unnerving. You feel a knot in your stomach, as if in your arms and legs in different directions. You definitely feel like you're traveling across great distances. And as you, all of you, kind of careen through this tunnel, your kind of spiritual selves feels like it's being blocked and tugged, and there is a definite strangeness. You've felt this teleportation circle spell work before. This is different. Something is different about it. I need everybody to go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
Okay.
Yeah. Something's up. I'm going to have Axton roll one as well.
Not good.
Oh, yeah.
Do I need to make one for Luna?
That was almost
Axton,
really bad.
Yes, you do. You need to make one for Luna, and you can roll 3 for her pups. And we'll go ahead and use whatever her strength is, -1.
Okay. So, just a flat D20 then.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me roll hers. Okay. And then D20, D20, D20. Oh, they're all rolling great.
All right, let's see.
I'm holding one of them if that counts.
You know what? I'll allow it. But that means your strength saves at disadvantage. Oh no!
All right,
no.
I'll roll a second one of mine then.
Okay. Hey.
Oh no!
Good. I mean, it doesn't count, but it's good.
Well, I rolled a 16 before. So.
I got to roll for Fink too. And Koza, you go ahead and roll a d20. We're going to assume Nila doesn't have great strength, so it's just a flat roll for her. And 6 rolls -2 for the children.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay, so everyone's doing really terribly on this roll, except for the main party for the most part.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I bombed it.
If I do 6 d20s, will it add? It's going to add up the total, isn't it?
No, it's fine. You can do that because I can click it and look at what each one was. It's fine.
Okay.
It'll show which one each one it was, I think.
Yeah.
Yep,
there we go.
It'll show the math.
Okay, so one of them got a 2, 2 of them got a 5, and the rest got 10 or above. Nila got an 11. No, that would be Fink got a 11 plus 1 is 12. It looks like Nila got a 0. Everybody else did sort of okay. Luna didn't do so great. Her pups didn't do so great. And Kravish didn't do so great.
Mm-mm.
So everyone who got below a 10, which is most of the ancillary characters, well, first let's say this. As you are all careening through...
They are not adventurers.
Yeah, that's true. They're not built for this stuff, man. As you are all careening through this tunnel, which, like I said, this space is foreign to you. Usually it's just like you feel a rush upwards and then a rush downwards and you land on your feet, and if you're a little shaky legged, you might fall down. But this space is different. And as you are, rocketing through this wormhole, you all feel like you're seeing several things at once, almost like somebody's taken an image and overlaid it, another image and overlaid it. It's all another image, and it's all very confusing and it's difficult to discern. You see and you're rushing by all this, by the way. You see a plush landscape of pink trees, and you see a craggy rock-like mountain range. You see a land of green fire and columns of smoke. You see a world of liquid and a world of diamonds and just a chaotic mishmash of different landscapes. And as you kind of are rocketing through this and feeling like your stomach is being pulled through your mouth, you look up and all you see in the terrible, terrible distance, I mean just ungodly miles away, over the horizon of the entire world, you see a blackness. And from this blackness, just for an instant, you see tendril-like tentacles stabbing down into these realms, like a storm inserting tornadoes into the ground of black smoke. And just as you feel the return of your corporeal form, you see at the center of this mass a huge, pupilless, blank red eye open briefly.
Oh, god damn it.
And then all of you, bam, hit the ground. You feel rock under your feet. And about 5 or 6 seconds later, as your eyes begin to adjust, Kravish slams onto the ground, followed by Nila and 6 small children, and Luna and her pups, and Fink. Bam, to the ground hard. You hear a great yelping and crying.
God, jeez.
I'm going.
Coach.
Cure wounds.
And you don't find yourself on your teleportation circle, any of you. You're actually outside. And as your eyes kind of blink and adjust, you look up and you see a welcoming sight of this.
Hey!
Oh, thanks.
We made it home. Relatively unscathed.
Stonehelm Keep lies before you.
Oh. Get up. Stretch my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, crack a few bones.
Yeah. It was not a soft landing at all. The only thing I'll have you're smart. Who else is kind of smart? Baranor, are you kind of smart?
No.
That's very honest.
I have a 14 intelligence. Take that with what you will.
Yeah,
I have 14 intelligence too. I have a 16 wisdom.
Yeah. Well, this isn't for the wise. Who else has a 14 or above intelligence? Anybody else? I don't think.
I don't think I do.
I'm sure Axton is not smart.
No, I do not.
Wow. I don't want Mary to think that I think he's dumb, but he's kind of dumb. Yeah, he's got a 12. Nah. All right, so Kravish.
It's just a character.
It's just a character. Kravish and I'm going to say that you definitely can at least equate the shape and the makeup of this massive being's tendrils. Looks very, very, very similar to the tapered tendril of smoke that escaped from the portals when you were in the mine and you came, face to face with this occurrence again with the stacked portals to different dimensions. There's some correlation. That's all I'll say.
And do I recognize the eye?
No.
No.
I mean, it's big. It's red. No, you don't recognize
an eye whenever I touch the dagger.
Which dagger was that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, you did. And you know what? I think when you guys were messing around with this in the Feywild, I think somebody looked up, or maybe it was when you were in the mine, you looked up and you saw way up, if you were to travel through hundreds and hundreds of portals, way, way, way up in the distance, you saw like a red dot that kind of reminded you of this. And yeah, I'll say when you touch the dagger, I forgot about that. Sorry, it does look similar. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's kind of if you were to take just like a red glowing eye with like very faint yellow veins, but no pupil, no iris, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are we going to talk about the shared fever dream now, or wait till after we get back into the house?
Did you all see a weird eyeball tentacle storm?
That's the aforementioned fever dream.
Okay, then good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
The tentacles are new, but I've seen the eye before.
Where?
And I'll kind of like, I'll just grab the dagger, which obviously makes me get the vision itself, but present the whatever weird obsidian dagger that I got from the fight with with those beings.
Yep. You don't see an eye when you touch it again. It was just that one time.
Okay. You at one time said it was every time I touched the dagger that I would see the eye. Okay.
Okay. I'm recanting that. That seems exhausting.
Okay.
Remind me again where you got that?
So the fight when we were fighting at the portal, with those mechanical beings and then the shadow-like beings.
Oh yeah.
The person I believe had the person that they were chasing had the dagger, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, there was a kind of a scuffle, a side scuffle, where the fractal LED futuristic weird creatures. One of them was kind of riding this humanoid as they rocketed upwards, chasing behind the tentacle as it retreated, and it was stabbing the shit out of him and killed him and altered its trajectory, and he bumped into the ceiling, and the two of them fell flat, and he was dead, and that's where you got it.
Yeah.
If you go through, I think it's in session content, you can see exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. How far back was that? It couldn't have been that
wasn't
far
that
back.
No, I don't think it was that. No, it wasn't that far back. Here, I got it.
Oh,
and he had a cool. He had a,
guy.
yeah, he had like a strange symbol carved into his chest too, amongst the stab wounds.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I got the weird looking dagger from.
Uh-huh. And if I remember correctly, I think you know. Oh no, he didn't identify it because you didn't have your stuff.
You didn't have the wand of identify.
No.
Now you can do it. If Joe has the stats for it and stuff.
I do.
Since he forgot all about it.
No, I didn't forget all about it. I forgot about it, but I've got all of its stats and stuff.
Okay.
We got a bunch of guests with us here. Maybe we could skidoo into the house and get everybody situated.
Priorities.
I'll meet you up in the workshop. I can identify it later.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Kravish, where you are is very close to the cave entrance that, as you know, you guys have that giant's causeway, the staircase that leads up from the waterfall. You look over to it and you just feel a melancholy pull towards that cave.
A melancholy pull?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's the way we're going. We'll direct everybody that way.
Well, that's in the opposite direction.
Oh, yeah, that's the opposite direction. Where are you going, man?
Yeah, you're kind of in between the cave and the keep to your left. Yeah, you just you know that as Sunny's lair, and you feel a kind of a little sadness tug at your heart, and you kind of feel like going over there and taking a look.
I'm sorry, my head was sorry, and
That's okay.
I'm gonna turn around and shuffle back with the group.
Okay. Do you peek inside at all?
Yeah, I can't help but.
You don't really run in there, and mind you, you guys you're not more than 20 feet away from it, but you kind of like poke your head in, and the first thing you see directly in front of you is this. It's the bronze statue of the large dragon that the giants defeated. This being, of course, its previous lair. It was a red dragon, but the statue itself is bronze. And this place has never looked more cold and dormant. You definitely remember the last time you guys were here. This was the lair of Sunny. And you kind of crane yourself to the left and look up at the kind of like the cave sort of ascends in these shelf-like steps towards where his little bed area was. And you remember there being fire and little, flames licking the walls. And he had managed to magically transform this place into what he would find comfortable, but he would not be comfortable here now. And it just makes you miss him and Maven.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move along, kids. All right.
The keep is warm and welcoming. You're first greeted by the short dwarf Clyde in his smart blue suit has been replaced by a warm green flannel kind of smart suit. And as he sees you all
picking out their outfits again.
What did you say?
Kravish, have you been picking out their outfits again?
He may have taken a page from me there.
Yeah.
He's got really nice brown buckled leather shoes with like a rounded toe and tails on his coat, but he greets you warmingly. Ah, masters, good to see you. Glad you made it safe and sound. Is there anything we can do for you? Oh, and he kind of notices that a few of you are limping, and there's been some additions to the party, and he's like, oh, looks like we've got company.
Yes. Yes, the children will need to have extra accommodations in Koza's tower.
Of course.
Or servants' quarters, wherever space permit. This gentleman right here, to think, if we could house him here for the short term as well, until we can get you settled in High Steel.
And Finks just kind of looks around. He's like, this is the largest building I've ever seen in my life. And he's like he's 2 feet tall. Okay. And this keep was, obviously everyone knows, that used to belong to storm giants. So it is like massive to this little guy. And you see him kind of pull a ring connected to a string on his he's got like shoulder straps, and 4 little panels on his big crate kind of move out of the way, and 8 legs made of wood and gears sort of erupt, and he just instantly just like starts scaling the wall and walking around like he always does in the mine. And he's just regarding the whole place. He's like, the geometry of this place and the sheer scale, it's daunting. How did you come by this place?
It's a long story. It's a long story. We'll tell you over dinner.
Well, I'll certainly be eager to hear it. And he just kind of like comes down off the wall, and he's no longer using his legs to walk because this place is so big. It's just easier for him to use his spider legs, and he just kind of his way down the hall. And you see him. He's a little nosy. He's kind of sticking his head into rooms and checking it out. And you hear like, "Oh, this is interesting." And he just keeps kind of moving around the place. Meanwhile, Nila.
We tell him about the door. And
Luna's giving him the full head tilt.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
You definitely see the pups kind of craning their heads, and they all kind of cock their head at the same time in the same direction. Meanwhile, Nila and the children kind of hobble and limp their way through, and she's just kind of like, "Wow, Dad, you live here?"
Well, live is a real, but yeah. This is our base of operations.
It's just such a departure from the straw huts of the village. I mean,
it was just shock when I first saw it too. But we've got plenty of room.
Love the landscaping he's done.
Yes, please. I want to see your tower. I mean, I can't believe that you have your own tower.
Oh, come on, let's go look at it. I'm sure.
Yeah, and you see,
bounce some ideas off of you, and
you see Fink kind of disappear into a room, and him and Axton kind of get together, and you notice Axton still doesn't have his hand attached. His wooden hand is no longer attached to the wrist. He's just kind of holding it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna head up to my workshop with Fink and see what can be done about this thing. So I'll see you guys at dinner."
Okay. I just want a hot bath drawn up.
Indeed. Your bath is drawn. It's very steamy, very inviting. And as you kind of slip into the depths of this, I guess you probably have like a large brass or a large porcelain kind of clawed tub.
Oh, yeah.
You
swimming pool.
Yeah, definitely. as you kind of slip in and your thoughts start to settle, you kind of naturally look over and you see Maven's little shrine to Pelor against the wall. She left her copper crown that she acquired in the Fire Realm. That's still here. And along with, a serviceable quarterstaff. And you know that she has like all of 2 outfits that are neatly folded on a little stool. She's got what looks like a mirror that you procured for her that she never really used. And you do see a brush sitting on what looked like it could be a vanity. And a couple of blonde hairs kind of twirling throughout the bristles.
After I get out of the tub, I take hold of I just start crying. I'm just sitting on just letting it all finally out.
Yeah. You kind of do your best to try to stave off the reality of it, the finality of it, that you understand, being that you're quite magical, how difficult it is to chase her. First of all, you don't even exactly know which realm she disappeared into. You're confident it was the Hells, but which Hells? And just there's no there's no bus to the Hells. It's an incredibly dangerous and rarely procured opportunity, and this makes you even more sad and angry. And you just kind of sit at her vanity, holding this brush in your hand, and the whole emotional wall just washes over you. You find yourself in your magical workshop at the top of your tower. You have all of your gear. You have all of your books. It doesn't take you too long to repair your spell book and kind of, put the spells that you either somebody ripped out for you or you procured and kind of reinsert them back into your spell book. So your spell book is all nice and complete. What do you wish to do? You have a few items at your disposal here.
I want to cast Identify on the wand. Scepter thing.
Yeah. Your wand of identification, you tap it on this thing like you've tapped 100 other things. And your mind is blasted with arcane focus and knowledge. You see a stream of glyphs fly past you as if you're traveling through a tunnel made of arcane glyphs. The knowledge, it pierces your brain and exits the back of your head, and you're having trouble straining to sift through this amalgamation of raw magical energy. And you start kind of like the way you all repaired the fane into some semblance of harmony and arcane order. This too starts to organize itself into, kind of like it's almost now like you're flying through shelves of a giant library. And all these books are flying out at you, and they're opening as you race past them, and you're doing your best to kind of scan what the hell it says. Another one flies past you, another one opens and flies past you, until you're kind of launched out of this vision with such force, physical force, that you knock backwards out of your chair and lie flat on your back. And this wand now hovers about 2 feet above your desk and just slowly spins around. This is it's called the Aspect of Cobb. This is a legendary weapon, and to list what it can do would take up precious time, so I will put it in the chat after the session. But it has the ability, it's not quite a staff of power, but it's very close. You have the ability to displace space and time with this object. This is a prized artifact crafted from pure, raw, arcane energy that once was disordered into a brittle pile of toothpicks that now resembles a very intricate lattice of geometric shaped white porcelain webbing. It is a perfect object. Its symmetry, its weight, the way it feels in your hand. As you are able to change its shape, you also change its properties. However, right now, as you kind of hold it, it doesn't change into a scepter like it did when it was within the magic of the fane. It also doesn't change into a staff. You get the feeling that once attuned to it, you're going to have to put in time practicing with it before it will bend itself to your will and unlock more of its attributes. As it stands now, it offers you 10 levels of spells that you can store into it at any time. In addition to that, you get a free fireball every day. You also get a free...
fireball.
Sorry?
I said because who doesn't love a free fireball?
Yeah. You also get a free gust of wind every day, except the effects are doubled that of the spell. Whatever the spell says, like you push it 20 feet, it's 40 feet.
That ain't nothing. I get a free gust of wind every time Koza cooks breakfast.
That's poison damage, though.
Just gonna stand on top of the keep and launch fireballs.
It also, kind of like a Misty Step, it offers you the ability to swap places with anyone who is 60 feet away that you can see. And that is, if it's an unwilling creature, all they have to do, and this will all be in the item card that I put up, don't worry. 60 feet that you can see, a willing creature or a unwilling creature has to make a wisdom saving throw, okay, that is equal to your spell save DC. And I mean wherever you are, okay? And I know you're going to take advantage of this, and that's fine. We're getting to the point where you can be pretty powerful. If you are floating over a cavern because you're flying and you swap places with somebody, that's where they'll end up. Just putting that out there. Because I know your evil metagaming game-breaking mind goes there.
I mean, it wasn't, but now it is.
That's all. I'm going to say that that's all that you glean from this thing, but you sense incredible potential in this object. It also has the ability to be hidden, and I know that seems arbitrary, but I mean, if you will it, and it takes a bonus action to will it, it can literally slip into the palm of your hand and disappear. The aspect of macabre. And you do remember encountering a humanoid within the fane once it was fully repaired that claimed to either be Kobb, who you know as a wizard, you know that he is sort of the deity of magic. Not that wizards particularly worship him, but he's definitely a big head honcho. That's what you get from that.
And he's over here jotting notes going, and
then, is there anything else you wanted to investigate? You know,
if Baranor brings up the dagger, I'll use Identify on that.
Okay.
At some point, I will be doing that.
That's fine. You tap your wand, which consequently. You and your Identify wand have been together a long time. It's not sentient, but you get the feeling like after identifying the Cobb wand that it's like, dude, give me a minute. But you tap it on the dagger. It's an odd implement of kind of flaked obsidian, I think is what we said.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's handheld. It's not a terribly long dagger. And as you tap it, you're first hit with a kind of a reeling, sickening feeling not in your guts, but almost in your bones. And you are hit with a realization that this is a cursed item.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Uh-oh.
It's not a terribly powerful curse. It's not like the what was it? The Wind Razor. Yeah, back when Atgeir had the Wind Razor, that was a real. It wasn't even. I don't remember. I don't think it had a name. It was just like a flaming scimitar. But it wasn't like that because that was possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
This is certainly not possessed by a demon. It's just cursed, meaning it has been in and around severe negative energy for a prolonged period of time, and that negative energy has left an imprint. You do know that anyone who attunes to this weapon, okay, will...
It's attunable.
Yes, it's attunable. Will not want to give it up. They will not want to give it to anyone else, not even to look at it. They become possessive of it. That is the extent of the curse. It doesn't cause harm. There's no countdown to when, whoever possesses it will die. But it is kind of a clingy object. It also returns to the hand once thrown. It doesn't poof out of existence and reappear. It literally, there has to be line of sight, and whatever he threw it at, there has to be line of sight back to his hand, at which point it will return. It's, obviously if he misses and it flies into a ravine, it will return before it hits the bottom. I'll say that it's got a 100-foot range.
Does it insult you if you miss?
Not sure. It's definitely not sentient.
Atgeir also had that dagger, so.
Yeah, and you can just call it the obsidian dagger if you wish.
Okay. Is it standard D6 or D4 or D4
standard,
or D6?
It's a standard D4. It's just a plain dagger. It has a benefit that it returns to your hand. It has a drawback that you don't want anyone else to have it.
All right.
That's its curse.
I have several attuned items right now, so.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm full up on attuned items. I can't. Oh, Gardener's Bow, the Copus, and something else. I can't remember. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Yuna. Oh, the Cloak of Elvenkind. How could I forget about the Cloak of Elvenkind? Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. Okay.
We're just listening to you mutter to yourself.
Okay. Yep.
Let us not forget that you guys have picked up several minerals. I don't know if all of them were defined. I know some of them were. Maybe they all were.
I would have to go back and listen to remember what I picked up.
Uh-huh.
That was a while ago, and I lost that paper.
Aw. A rational DM would say that you lost the equipment.
I mean, if that's what it takes.
But I am very irrational.
Okay. I didn't have anything groundbreaking. It was the other people that found groundbreaking shit. So
yeah,
I think mine shit was just worth something. I don't remember what though.
Is there anything else you would like to divine or do in your tower before dinner?
Doesn't he have a basement?
Well, he's got a laboratory down there.
Oh, he's got a lab. Okay.
Yeah, there's a laboratory down there, but he's got like a proper wizard's tower and a workstation and stuff.
Gotcha.
You know what? Just because I'm feeling froggy, I think I can get to the layout of your keep.
Could be somewhere.
Yeah, it's up there someplace. I'll freshen it up. It's good to sometimes bring this stuff down to the bottom. Oh, going through Cybersonica pictures. Some of these were freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a fun one shot, by the way.
I was thinking about that earlier.
That was cool. There we go. Okay. I'll put this in the chat once it loads, because if it'll let me. I remember this being a freaking massive file. I don't think it's going to let me do this. It's so big. Let's see here. Oh no. It almost crashed my computer.
I tried copying and pasting it, and it says that it exceeds the maximum.
It's all right. You know what I can do? It's okay. We'll deal with that later.
The fact that 10 megabytes is too much for anything these days.
I know. I hate how it does that. I don't know why 10 megabytes is where we draw the frickin' line. But it is.
Mm-hmm.
10 megabytes is nothing, by the way.
Nothing at all. Like, used to be.
They want me to upgrade to Nitro. They've asked me to upgrade like 5 different times for like all different reasons.
It's like YouTube Premium. I'm never doing it.
Never doing it. Who does? Unless you're like a streamer, who cares about Discord Nitro? It doesn't. The free version isn't that great. What makes you think I want to give you money?
Yeah.
But
because we promised you that the one that you pay for is better.
Yeah. My ass. I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so is there anything else you'd like to do, or are you just going to kind of tinker in your wizard tower for a while?
I'm totally going to swing the new wand around. Like it's a light.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
It's definitely going to play with it.
He turns off all the lights.
You're gonna point it straight at your face, and then
how do you turn this thing on? Yeah, you put up dancing lights and you use the wand to swat them away. I will say that as you move it around quickly, there is kind of a resonance. It's almost like it makes like a whistle, like a whistling and sort of vibratory sound as you swing it. The amount of power locked inside of this object, that in and of itself, it looks hollow because you can kind of see through it. Because like I said, it's like intertwined geometric webbing that constructs it. So you can kind of see right through it. But the amount of power, it almost feels like this is an illusionary form. And whatever its true form is something much more solid and dense. It definitely almost feels like it has a little bit of gravity of its own. You're not exactly sure what that means or how that's possible, but it does. Okay. I'm just looking at the map here. Koza's Cozy Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Nila follows you up the stairs to your dwelling. And you and her both are met with a wall of aroma, and fresh air enters your lungs for what seems like the first time in a long, long time. You've been breathing mine air for 2 months, and being inside your sanctuary just it bathes you in this feeling of relief. You can actually now feel the creakiness of your knees as your hammock calls to you. And behind you, Nila kind of steps from behind you with the Weave Children in tow. And your tower is very tall. You didn't really choose to use the space like, say, Yuno would have, where he's got like steps that lead up to bookshelves and stuff like that. It's just a very tall, vaulted ceiling above you. And in your absence, which you don't mind at all, your plant life has continued to grow. Unnaturally fast, some would say, but there are vines that have creeped up the walls of your tower, and these little tiny, not little, they're probably about 3 or 4 feet in diameter, bell-like berries have sprouted and are dangling, and there's about 8 or 9 of them. And with your knowledge of druidcraft, you get the feeling like you could probably, and they don't look like soft, they look like acorns. You get the feeling like you might be able to carve little tiny beds out of them. To say nothing of the space at the base of your giant tree that you have in your quarters, having plenty of room for a second hammock if Nila wishes to dwell here. She definitely kind of like takes her shoes off and steps onto the grass that you've crafted on your floor. It just feels the grass on her toes. She kind of like squeezes her toes. She picks one of the flowers that's growing, everywhere, and kind of like she does kind of a quiet, close-eyed smile as she smells it, and you can just hear her breathing slow. A wave of relief washes over her as well, and she just kind of hums a little and it's been so long since I smelled flowers. This is a nice place, Dad.
Yeah, I like to think so. Good to have you back.
You can see little points of blue-green light, almost like fairies, kind of like slowly, lazily float around you. And she just kind of like takes the flower and puts it close to her heart and just leans into you.
I give her a big old hug.
He takes it. The children are climbing the tree, and one of them kind of slips and dangles, and you hear him go a little squeak of fear before he kind of gets his footing back, and you can see kind of Nila looking up and kind of giggling a little as she steps away and kind of sits with her back to the fire, keep herself warm as she kind of watches them, and she just kind of pats the space next to her while looking at you.
I'll sit down next to her and kind of wrap my arm around her.
Yep, she leans into you and kind of rocks very slowly as she watches the children. And the two of you just kind of have a nice moment in your sanctuary. And that's where we're going to take a little break. As the... Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Actually, you know what? That is not true. We're missing one. Hold on, please. Baranor.
Yes.
Baranor. Welcome back, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You kind of take this opportunity, these couple hours before dinner is served, and you retreat to your guard tower. As you know, you don't actually live in the keep proper.
Yes.
And you take Luna, and Luna takes her pups, and she kind of, once you guys are in your guard tower, she kind of looks at you with a understanding but also annoyed kind of look.
Okay.
And she just kind of, as you strip off your armor and you put your bow down and your couple of your knives and just sort of like rest and settle into, I don't know, a pile of leaves. I don't know if you've got furniture in there or not.
Yeah, like a bed, sort of.
Yeah. She just kind of like turns her nose at you and sits very like sits upright, very erect in front of the fire, and her little pups are kind of like dancing around her and chasing each other's tails. And she kind of like leers over at you, and as soon as she sees that you're looking at her, she looks away again. And you just you don't get any thoughts, you get an emotion of abandonment. You know, and
yeah.
It's not hard for you to interpret that as like, where the fuck were you?
Well, okay. I don't know how much you want to roleplay this, but I will just cast Speak with Animals and just tell her where I was.
Okay. No, we can roleplay whatever you want.
Okay.
Both your and her eyes kind of pulse green for a moment, as if attuning with each other. And you're instantly hit with, this place is fun. Oh my gosh, it's so big. It's kind of cold. It's kind of warm. Oh wow, what's that? Can I chew on that? And you sift through the obvious ramblings of wolf toddlers.
Mm-mm.
And she just kind of looks down, and she's sitting very, very regal but very stiffly, and she just kind of listens to you recount your adventures, and she just kind of regards it with, why couldn't you talk to me?
You're like, I would never abandon you. And there was something magical. I literally had a collar around my neck that what was the word? What was the word used? Dampened my magical ability.
And you get the feeling that like she's okay, fine. I don't understand what that means, but
I barely understand what it means.
Yeah, she's just kind of she absorbs what you're saying. She's not ignoring it. But yeah, she just kind of sits there and paces a little, walks to the other side around the staircase, because there's like this big cylindrical stairway that kind of cuts right through the middle of your guard tower. So she kind of passes behind it and then comes out the other side, and she's kind of sniffing your weapons and kind of saunters over to you to where you're at on your bed, and she just kind of puts her snout on a knee of yours, and she's just like, I would have hoped to show you my children when they were born.
If I remember correctly, you wanted me awake.
Yes, but not gone.
I definitely didn't plan to be gone.
You can't do that again.
No.
I thought you were dead. I mourned you. I howled for days. You need to make sure that doesn't happen again, even if it was out of your control. You are powerful, more powerful than I could ever be. Don't let it happen again. And she kind of stomps off and saunters around the staircase again and kind of circles the rugs in front of the fireplace and just falls down and collapses and keeps an eye on our babies.
And I'll just whisper, I won't.
The pups, especially the multicolored pup,
the runt of the litter.
Yep, the runt of the litter kind of looks at you and then looks at his mom and looks at you, and he just kind of like skips and hops and like a little deer kind of hops over to you, and he grabs your leather covered gloved hand with his mouth and just kind of tugs on it. He's like, are you tough? I'm tough.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and I'm tougher than you too. And he kind of goes, no, and he like bites at your foot and kind of drags your foot a couple inches away. He's like, see, I can pick up your whole leg in my mouth, and I'll bite it off.
So fearsome.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the Luna clone is kind of she's kind of like, actually, that one's the male, sorry. He's kind of sniffing around and being very curious, and looks at you, and he doesn't really say much. He's just kind of like, Mom says you're good, so I think you're good too. And yeah, he's just kind of like taking in everything and sniffing around the leaf pile. The summer wheat colored one, the larger, the female, is just sitting facing you, staring daggers, just like her mother.
Gosh, I'm not even surprised.
No words, no thoughts, just staring at you through her amber eyes. And you can feel your tummy rumbling as a little message kind of shimmies through your thoughts in the guise of Clyde's voice. Crown collectors, dinner is served at your convenience. And that's where we'll take a little break.
All right.
All right. It is 4:02. We'll call that 4:05 and come back at 4:20.
All right.
All right. And we'll do dinner. Yummy, 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 yummy.
Yay.
All right.
The taxmen come in and ruin it again.
Yeah.
Do you want me to dig him out? I've got
No.
stuff.
I'm just saying that's what happened last time.
Ring, ring, ring.
Yeah.
I'll answer it. We're not home.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you at 4:20, folks.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Hello.
Olo.
Hola. We're waiting on Noah to hop back online. There he is.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Let's change this up a little bit. Sure, why not? Who doesn't like a little Skyrim music? You all gather from your various towers and shacks and hammocks and such. You put down your quills and books and trinkets and kind of feel your bones aching for bed, but your stomach rumbling for supper, and make your way down to the grand hall of Stonehelm Keep. There you find your compatriots pouring in, and you see the keep staff gathering extra chairs, as you've got quite a few visitors today. Fortunately, you have a very long table, and it has a way of fitting everybody, except for the Weave children. They get a kiddie table. The staff brings out a first round of bread and cheeses and fruit and, finger foods as you kind of tuck into them, and eventually bringing out, slabs of cooked mutton and beef and chicken, and kind of laying them all out on the table for you all to kind of serve yourselves. The wine flows, the ale and mead fill your tankards, and the comforts of home finally start to settle into your bones. Until, obviously, especially Kravish, you kind of find your eyes wandering over to an empty chair.
Yeah.
Clyde also saunters over to your chair, Kravish, and he drops a couple of scrolls, a couple of enveloped letters, just to the side, not in your plate. Many of the correspondence are from familiar people. You receive a scrolled letter from Hold on. I'm having a physical malady issue here. Sir Hargrove, he, and it's general kind of keep it in touch with stuff. He wishes you all could make a trip out and visit Dane once again. He's hoping your keep is in keeping with your earned luxuries, keeping you comfortable. It doesn't have any idea that you were imprisoned for 2 months, so it makes no mention of how that went. And it's generally kind of a it's a low impact kind of mail situation. You also have there's a letter from the mayor of Heistel, kind of wanting to have a meeting with you. It's not a big deal. It's just you're kind of a prominent fixture of the region now, and it's good to kind of connect every now and again. He mentions that you can do this by message if you wish, if you do not wish to descend the mountain. But he mentions that something about the marshal, which you haven't met yet. You met his underling, the captain, kind of keeping to themselves, not causing a tremendous amount of trouble. Taxes are a little high lately, but that's kind of par for the course when you're ruled by an imperial garrison. And there is a letter addressed to Maven, and it is it's returned from the Taliesin Monastery. It's a thin letter. It doesn't seem like a lot of pages. Might be a notice. It might be some kind of news, but it is addressed to her, and it is wax sealed. And the usual kind of trappings of high society. You've received a party invite to someone you don't recognize, and at the bottom it looks like it's signed by your Geodude friend. He's asking how you are, and have you all settled into your lives north of Dane, and it also seems like there were a number of people that came calling that obviously Clyde had to turn away because you weren't here. One of them was a governor of hold on, sorry, let me just bring the map up. It's probably easier. Okay. There was the governor of Margalit, who you've never heard of before, and he just kind of expects you to return his correspondence as a way of establishing contact with the city of Margalit. He's heard tell of your adventures in the Ellington Classic, and anyone capable of facing off against and winning the team tournament and a black dragon definitely has earned the right to be within his presence. It's all very stuffy. Axton is also mentioned in a letter from Dunn's Keep, which some of you know to be an imperial military organization or military city. It's more of a fortress with a walled fortress with, a town around it. Just wanting him to extend his fighting prowess, being that it's now known he is of the Blooms, the Bloom Corporation. You also get a flyer for the Gelderwin Festival, which is a city you've never been to. I don't think anybody here probably. Yeah, I think Baranor, you've probably been to Gelderwin. Quaint city. It's it's not like a castled walled city. It's basically like 4 or 5 little villages all smashed together. And that's kind of it for correspondence.
Do I know anything of this festival?
It's just kind of like a spring, because it's, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. You guys have been gone for like 2 months. We're getting into spring. It was, it was sort of winter time when you made it to Cobb, and it just started, like you guys had the Windhoven Festival, or you didn't have it, but it happened. And then you spent 2 months in Cobb, and so we're starting to get towards spring. The snow's starting to slowly melt, so you know that this is sort of like a spring equinox, festival kind of a thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The staff clears the dinner service and brings out small plates of pies and cakes that they've prepared. It's a very pleasant reprieve from the road rations and prison food. You're returning to form as far as high society pleasantries for sure.
Definitely.
Axton kind of you see him sort of eating with one hand. His arm still isn't fully repaired. It looks like he's actually taken it apart a little more than it was. Several of the gears are missing, and he just eventually kind of gets frustrated and twists it off of his stump and kind of plops it on the table. And him and Fink kind of looking at it and whispering to each other. And Fink is without his legs right now, his spider legs right now, although he barely can see over the table. It's like a toddler sitting in a big boy chair.
Yeah.
So he just kind of resigns and stands up on his feet and kind of leans over the table and grabs a chicken leg, and he's scribbling in a little notebook of his as he looks over Axton's arm. Axton kind of scoffs a little and kind of shakes his head and looks at everybody. He's like, all right, so what do you guys think? What do we want to do? Where are we going from here? I mean, we sought out to reunite Koza with his daughter, and very, very glad that happened. What do you guys want to do next?
Well, there's the obvious trying to help Maven, but I don't know what we can all do in that regard.
Well, what can we do? Let's talk about it.
I don't know.
I mean, we'd have to find somebody who could help us first. First, we'd have to figure out which hell she's in.
Yeah.
Then we'd have to find someone who can get us there and keep us there without burning alive. And then we can think about going and finding her. I
mean, the Empire has a, nice rod of planar shift. They can get us there. I don't know if they would or not, but they have the means to. But all the other stuff we would kind of be on our own for. And it does not seem super easy.
Yeah, I mean, you knew, Koza, you knew more about the Feywild, and we still got lost there.
Oh, yeah. And the time was different, too.
Yeah.
What if we get there and she's like 80? Oh, wait, no, she's an elf. What if we get there and she's like 80?
She'd still be younger than you.
I'm 200.
Right, she'd still be younger than you.
He's like, oh yeah, in that direction. Gotcha.
Well, and we can look into that. There's also the undead presence to the south.
Right, yeah.
That might give us some bargaining power with the Empire.
Yeah.
The Empire's kind of a bag of dicks.
Yeah. I'd rather not run into that prince guy again.
What if now just hear me out, guys. Axton kind of shifts in his seat.
Mm-hmm.
What if we go to Margalit, and because I'm a bloom, we can hire out the fighters that live there to help us.
Possibility.
I mean, I've got to have pull, right? I mean, I'm an ancestor of theirs.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you'd call him, my great-great-great-great-grandnephew, Goromir, he offered for us to stay there and maybe get work out of him or something. It's an avenue. It's someone that we know.
Yeah. We could pass through Dane on our way there.
I mean, I don't think Goromir and the Bloom Corporation, I don't think they have any pull when it comes to magical dimension transportation, but I don't know, it's just a thought.
Yeah. It's definitely a possibility. But as was said, we don't there's multiple hells that she could be in. I'm not very well versed in all that, so.
Well, what do we know about where she was? I mean, there's got to be. I mean, I don't know much about the hells, but I know they're not all exactly the same. We could at least narrow it down.
I was unconscious. You were unconscious.
Right. That's why I'm saying, what do we know? What did it look like?
Other people who were awake during that fight.
They're all muted. Every freaking one of them. They're all muted.
It looked like hell. It was bloody. It was volcanic. It stunk. There were devils and demons, and she charged right the heck into it.
Okay. So do all the hells look like that?
How the fuck would I know?
That kind of sounds like the place that we rescued her from already.
I don't think that was the hells, though.
I know, but that's what Baranor is saying. That sounds like all the places, burning places like this. It looks similar, is what he is voicing. I'm not saying that it's the same.
Okay, so maybe we should find out what the hells are like and knock some of them off. I mean, I've heard that there are different rings of hells, and isn't one of them made all of ice? Which just seems weird.
Yeah. I mean, how big are each of these hells? Are they as big as the world? Whatever we call this thing.
I don't know. I mean, the Feywild was another dimension, and it was pretty much another reality on top of this one. Same thing with the Fire Realm. It kind of felt like that was what that world was like. So yeah, it could be pretty big. Although I've heard the hells called the rings, the 9 rings, or the 9 circles. That to me sounds a little confined.
Maybe if we investigate these openings between the realms, we might find our way to the hells that way.
Maybe. I don't know. Every time we come across those portals, we end up someplace we don't want to be.
Well, right now Maven's in a place that we don't want her to be, so that fits.
That's true.
Come on, guys. What's going on? What Koza, any thoughts?
I mean, I don't have any knowledge of the hells, so if we want to find somebody that does, we're going to have to go to a major city.
Yeah.
This feels like an excuse to go to Dane.
Okay. Does anyone have any other ideas of what we would, trust in Maven to get, to get back to us? I mean, if we can't get to her, maybe she can get back to us when the time is right. After she's, dealt with the dude. I'm sure. I didn't see how tough the guy was, but Maven's extremely tough. I'm sure she'd take him.
So you think we should pursue other things and maybe get to that when we're a little more powerful, maybe?
maybe. I also could be that we focus on something else and inadvertently wind up at the same place anyways.
Well, I like the idea of gaining favor with the Empire by dealing with this, what was it called? Death cult?
The walking rot.
That's it. The walking rot. I don't like the sound of that.
I mean, I could care less about the Empire, but the walking rot does pose a danger to nature and people everywhere.
Well, let's see. I know that they destroyed the Needle, which was, I think it was like an outpost or something. I don't think I've ever been there, but it was like the furthest east. It was like the furthest east that the Empire's borders lie, and it was destroyed by the walking rot. And then we fought them in Dane, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if they made it that far west, who knows what they're doing now?
Yeah.
And I definitely think that's an idea.
Yeah, definitely. You know who? We might also want to talk to the Marquis on both fronts.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea to check in with the Marquis.
He's probably wondering where we've been at for the past 2 months.
Somewhere across the plains, the Marquis is sitting there not thinking about the crown collectors.
Yeah. Having a whiskey and enjoying the pleasure of...
Yeah. 3 or 4 people.
Of various genders, sexes, and ethnicities.
Yeah.
I was thinking more in the terms of one of his assets went missing for 2 months.
Well,
we say again, he is sitting there enjoying a whiskey.
He's poured one out for you, Baranor, and that's about it.
Yeah, because Iathara went to check in on the pups, I think, at some point. And probably didn't hear from us when she got there, so... Or maybe she heard rumors of what befell us, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
She's also quite capable, so...
I heard they all went to hell.
They all got arrested.
Maybe we should take that as a slight lesson about tempering ourselves when going into a situation like that. Maybe. Are we going to learn from this experience? Probably not.
Yes. I don't like my arm being chopped off, Axton says.
Yeah, no.
That was not cool.
Yeah. So a couple of us died that fight too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Definitely not want to repeat that. So
no.
That was definitely a lesson in.
I have earned enough trauma to make a few boat payments for a therapist. Okay.
Yeah.
They're gonna see me coming in. The receptionist's gonna be like, "Oh shit, no, she gone."
Yep. No.
Well, I kind of feel like I don't know, investigating east to the walking rod, at least find out where they've been. I think we should definitely go to the Needle and see if they're still there. We can always teleport away.
True. What also about our add-ons now?
We need to get these folks settled. We need to handle our duties here at the keep and show the correspondence and such.
Mm-hmm.
We all like respectable and stuff.
Yeah, Nila she's in the middle of like putting a chunk of meat in her mouth with a fork. She kind of looks up and she's like, we're good here. I'll definitely take care of the Weave children and maybe help spruce up the place. A little bit of woman's flavor around here. And Fink just kind of looks up and he's like, I'll find work in town.
All right. I don't think Luna's going to let me out of her sight for a while, and I think she's not going to let the pups out of her sight, so they might be tagging along.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun to figure out what you do with them.
Yeah, I know.
Let's bring the pups through a dungeon. I'm going to leave that to you to be creative on how you handle that.
Yeah.
It's really dark in here.
My ring
like trying to be quiet.
My ring
trying to be quiet and just yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sneak.
You know, you do have a ring.
It can hold one wolf, not 4.
It's only held one.
No.
As far as you can tell.
Yeah, okay.
You've never had more than one thing to put in it.
I guess that's fair.
Although that seems like a lame thing to just shunt them in there.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
But it's a magical place in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just plopping the kids in front of the TV, let it be their baby.
It is a demi-plane. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess we'll play around with that.
They become very, 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 very small. All right, well, Axton kind of like sets his fork down and clinks it and downs his ale. He's like, I'm gonna retire and tinker with my arm here, see if me and Fink can come up with any temporary upgrades until I can do something more permanent. But I'm definitely looking forward to a little downtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Groovy.
Yep. Or more like the Burgermeister from Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein with the hang.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, this is how he is right after he makes the improvements.
Yeah.
All right. While they were chatting, I was kind of like half absently listening in. I opened the letter from the monastery that was addressed to Maven. I don't know if I already assumed that I already did, but I'm just looking over the contents of that letter.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you what it says here, or do you want me to tell you what it says over whispers?
That is your discretion.
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, sure.
If I tell you what it is, I'm going to assume you're telling everybody else.
Okay.
You open it up, and it is quite simply an expectation of report. It's very official. It's not sentimental or anything. It doesn't say Dear Maven. It's just Maven.
Mm-hmm.
It is from her chapter master, a monk, a fellow monk named Shinju. You've probably heard her mention him before. Now, the way the Taliesin Monastery, as she's explained it to you in your quarters or quiet time when you two have kind of talked about each other's lives, she doesn't have like a master, like a Jedi master for her. It's almost like everyone is sort of trained and raised by everyone. Master Shinju is somebody that she derived a lot of inspiration from as far as how to quiet the mind and how to pay attention to the universe. She learned how to fight from other people, but from Master Shinju, she learned peace and calm. And that is who is writing to her now. He is expecting a report on the comings and goings of not the crown collectors, but the region that she's been moving through. What has she seen? What has she experienced? Has it helped her? Has it shaped her? And with a kind of a impatience for a response, it seems that she's late in checking in. You're not exactly sure how often that's supposed to happen. She never really mentioned to you doing that before, so you're not exactly sure how long they've been expecting a response.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all very clerical.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
as we all retire, I'm just going to sit at the desk with this letter, and I'm going to start to pen a reply.
Okay.
That that I apologize if I've broken any confidence. However, given my relationship with Maven, she would not feel slighted by me doing this. I'll explain, over the past 3 months what we've been doing and the circumstances that led to her leaving this plane of existence.
Okay. Definitely going to need a roll from you. Why don't you can give me persuasion or, I guess performance, maybe?
I'm good for persuasion. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
33.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, crafting letters is not your forte, but it's definitely something you're good at. You have excellent penmanship, so you get the feeling like whoever receives this letter will, feel some, not comfort, because you didn't feel like a warmth from this letter they sent, but definitely an adequate amount of information to satisfy their need of a report, I guess. The fact that it wasn't an emotionally charged letter kind of disappoints you, almost like you would have preferred for her mentors to have some kind of like warmth to them towards her, because you would have liked that for her, and to not find that kind of is like, her bosses are kind of cold. But you do know that that's what she was raised in, and if anything, it would probably feel good for her to have heard from those that she's familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll just look around the room, and I will try to lie down and go to sleep.
Okay. The morning comes, and you all arise from your quarters. And the one that doesn't return, other than the obvious, is Axton.
He doesn't return at all?
He doesn't return to the dinner or the breakfast table.
Okay.
Has anyone seen him?
No. Clive, would you mind having somebody go up to chambers to see if he just missed the announcement?
Meant to tell you, Master Axton and the young gnome made their way into Heistel this morning. Wanted to let me know that he and his friend may have had some breakthrough in his prosthesis, and wanted to definitely pursue this, as it appears he was not wearing his wooden arm.
Well, I can't wait to see his handiwork.
All right, then. Well, I will get set to return some of these correspondences today.
Okay.
And
yeah, we can do unless you guys want to set out, we can do like 3 or 4 days of downtime if you want to plan some stuff and research some stuff.
Yeah, I think we can do that without getting too belabored by things. I'll return the correspondences. We'll set up a meeting with the mayor of Heistel.
Okay.
I also begin the work of having the house staff store Maven's possessions.
Okay.
So that I don't have to look at them and have that knife twisted every time. Moving these things out. And also in our main throne room audience chamber, I want to make a little area for our former members. A chair for Zor, for Olivia, for Akir, and also for Maven. Just like little chairs set to the side with something to remember them of.
or for them to have when if they swing by?
If they swing by, there's always a seat for them.
Okay. I'll just say that. Okay, Zor is a deep cut. He departed from you. Who was in the party at that time? It was Axton.
It wasn't me.
You had just. Okay, yeah. I don't. Were you there? I don't know if you were there yet.
Or I think you were playing him. I think he had just left, and you were like NPCing him for like a session or two.
Yeah, he kind of disappeared into the crowd of Brackenshire. He was looking for the Temple of Palor to kind of check in. That's kind of where he was from. Atgeir is in Vorn and has no idea where you guys live.
Right.
So for him to just show up would probably be problematic.
Well, it's more ceremonial than practical.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and that's great. Yeah, there's kind of like you're collecting chairs like you collect crowns, and there's kind of a semicircle of chairs at this point with you all kind of, and all they got to do really is sort of move your little sigil flags or banners from behind your chairs to different spots on the wall, so that the five of you can, be in the middle with these other ancillary chairs on the outsets. But yeah, that's definitely something that they can do. No problem.
Cool.
Over the next few days, you don't see much of Axton. It appears that he is spending time in Heistel with Fink. He, obviously sends word to, up the mountain that, he's fine. He's just taking an interest in tinkering with this technology, and he's trying to make the very best prosthetics arm that he can. As far as a meeting with the mayor, it's very low stakes. You don't get interrupted by the marshal or the captain, and he, just consequently introduces you to a strain of tea that you find extraordinarily enjoyable. He gives you news of Heistel that in the time since you were away, the fishing industry has really picked up. Old Gunter has been a little more infrequent in years past as far as harassing fishing trawlers. But that's probably due to the fact that it's raising babies. I don't know if you all remember who Gunter was.
The old sea monster about killed us.
Yeah. Ryebank Lake, which is the lake that Heistel sits on the bank of, has seen some new traffic in recent weeks. As far as like passengers coming down from the Viperous River, which the Viperous River drains, I guess you could say, lakes drain out to the sea. So it drains south and joins different tributaries and rivers that all run out to the western coast of Valandiir. So there's traffic that kind of makes its way up the Viperous into Heistel, and they've seen a slight uptick. Nothing too unsavory. Heistel doesn't have like a thieves guild or like a local cult or pack of bandits or anything like that. It's just a relatively nice little fishing village, and that's kind of the time you have with the mayor. He's cordial and polite and gracious for your time, and really just wanted to have an afternoon with you guys.
Okay.
Pleasant little guy. Yeah.
A little meeting, just catching up. Okay, great.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
As you're walking, you know what? Here's a question. How are you getting to Heistel? Are you walking down the causeway?
Well,
it is kind of a hike.
That's like a half day or something like that, if I remember.
Not exactly. I mean, you could walk down there in a couple hours.
Yeah, or go by horse. Well, can you go by horse?
I don't think we've established whether those. Wait, did you guys augment the stairs? I feel like you guys paid to have the stairs augmented so it was passable instead of like. Yeah, I'll say with a little practice, you can get a horse down there. Although you could also just have a stable made down at the base or something. But yeah, it's honestly kind of a pain in the ass to get up and down the mountain because you have to get all the way down. You have to solve the waterfall puzzle, and you have to get in a boat and travel down to the banks of the town because there's no real way to walk there without being kind of precarious. So just something to think about. It's not the easiest way, which has its disadvantages, but also has its advantages. It's not easy to get to.
Right.
Unless you can fly, of course.
Yeah, Mike, don't you have greater speed?
No, because the new edition, they took the paladin and spelled it out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so my memes can't be dreams.
You do have wings, though.
Yeah, but it's once per long rest.
A minute of flight. How fast can you get down the mountain?
Just like a peregrine falcon, just.
Yeah. You know what you could do? You could construct a catapult at the top of the mountain.
Temporary flight for 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. You can get down the mountain in 10 minutes.
Yep.
And then long rest to go back up.
Yep. Stay the night. Had to stay the night. Yeah, that's fine. I'll probably enjoy the flight.
It's a stealth bolt, though.
You know what? Just for shits and giggles, go ahead and give me a perception check. Let's see what you see as you fly down the mountain.
29.
Ooh. Well, okay. On your journey down to Heistel to do all of that stuff and have those meetings, you notice a pterodactyl nest. Okay, it's far enough away that they don't. It looks like the only one that's there doesn't change direction to intercept you. You see what looks like from the air. I'm guessing you're probably staying a couple hundred feet above the ground. You see a couple of caves that you've never. They don't intersect with your stairway up into the mountain, and it looks like there's surrounding the mouth of one of these caves looks like it's either like bleached birch wood like branches or bones.
Okay.
Not sure which.
Too high to see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a.
Didn't Maven say Sundancer found something, a crown on a skull on a rooftop somewhere in town?
Yeah. I mean, she's not here to elaborate on that.
I know, but I didn't know if maybe Maven had told Kravish about it, so maybe he would think of that as he flew down and saw those.
Maybe? It definitely doesn't look like a skeleton down there. It's like scattered. It's like scattered sticks or bones. Not sure which. Yeah. It's not like there's a headless skeleton sitting on a throne up over there. This is where Sunny found it. And your day is pretty easy going. You do kind of cross paths with the Black Guard, the garrison of Imperial troops that are quartered in Heistel.
Mm-hmm. Those guys.
It doesn't give you a warm, fuzzy feeling, but they don't really bother you either.
Send off all those letters that, in those official correspondences, party invites and return letters to Sir Hargrove and Lord Giovanni, all the governors and hoity-toity folks.
Sure. All right. Is there anything anybody would like to be doing for the next 4 days, aside from going into Highstill to meet with the mayor?
Not that I can think of.
You know, clean up, you want to research something, you want to order something, you want to buy stuff.
While I'm doing some of that, I also want to try to research that symbol that was found on that fellow's chest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if Highstill has the resources for that, or if that's someplace that we're going to have to wait until we get to a larger city like Dane.
Well, I'll say that if you want to go ahead and roll me an investigation check, we'll see what you find out in the Highstill Library, which is consequently on the same building that the mayor is in.
16.
16? You don't find that symbol. You find similar symbols. One looks like it could be a sun, where it's got like 12 or 14 kind of wavy lines coming from a central circle. Mm-hmm. You find that as kind of a, you recognize it as a symbol of someone who worships Pelor, but is not associated with Pelor, because it's not the official symbol of him.
Mm-hmm.
You find a book on Thieves' Cant, which gives symbols that have kind of that, like, because this thing, it's almost like it's a small circle with straight lines. Like, it doesn't have waves or curls or anything, and it's got like very geodesic kind of straight angle lines. So you do see some like Thieves' Cant glyphs, which, Baranor would probably recognize them, and you don't find that symbol in that book. There's also, you find a book that is kind of just on general, nonverbal communication, like through flag waving from ship to ship, or messages left for people who don't speak common. And all of them are interesting, and none of them look like that.
Okay. Got it. And also, whatever the library may have on the hells and devilology.
Okay. You find a couple of books on demonology, not a whole lot on devilology. Devology. There's a book about the Abyss, and, you get lost in its pages because it mentions the fact that the Abyss is so vast that there are pockets that are left undisturbed by the general demonic population, and that reminds you of the Fire Realm.
Mm-hmm.
You find books on Asmodeus, who is the ruler of the Nine Hells, although it's very narcissistic about him. It's not so much about the hells. It's about, what he wants and what he has exerted his influence on the material realm, and how he's gained followers. It definitely seems like a book written by a religious person against Asmodeus.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't find anything about the rings of the hells, unfortunately, not here.
Okay.
Anybody else? Baranor? Koza, you guys got anything you'd like to do during this short week?
No, I'm pretty good. Just, kind of looking after Luna and the pups. Helping, having them explore the area a little bit. Maybe take them down into not so much into the town, but down the path and out into the surrounding woods surrounding the town.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an animal handling check.
Sure. Where it is, roll play. Animal handling. 19.
All right. You and Luna have made up.
Okay. Good to go.
She appreciates your position and what you had to go through. She's sympathetic to your plight. She knows that you lost a friend, and she does her best as kind of your wolf mom to nurture and comfort you. And she also appreciates you going out with her on a hunt with her pups. She pretty much does most of the hunting and kind of gives you the sense when you kind of guide her pups that, like, you know, you're cute, but I got this. Procures a couple of ferrets, and the wolf pups kind of devour them. And yeah, it's kind of a nice day for you to kind of reconnect with your little family.
Okay. And if unless you had any input on that, I have names. That probably could have been during this kind of, you know, getting to know them period would have probably come into being. Let's
hear it. I can't wait.
So there's only the one girl, right?
Yes.
Just the larger one.
The tall summer wheat wind looking one.
Yeah. Okay, that's Artemis. The larger of the two males, I think, is the one that looks like a clone of her, right?
Yeah, looks just like Luna.
Okay, that one's Apollo.
Okay. Apollo, got it.
Yeah. And then the runt of the litter is Fenrir.
Noah will love that.
I know.
Okay, you wrote me about what changed. Oh no, I'm reading never mind, I'm reading a very old message. I was looking at the Stonehelm Keep map, and it said you wrote under it what changed, and I thought you just wrote that. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Damn, that was from February? Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to Ellie today. We did a little roleplay session to see how she'd do. And I just was recounting the campaign. Like, I can't believe how long we've been playing this game. This is the longest campaign I've ever played. Ever.
I mean, same. I mean, I was still pretty new to the game when we started.
Yeah. All right. Well, all that happened.
Who was the other person that didn't go?
Well, there's Koza and if there's anything they would like to be doing during this short week, we can get to it.
I'm going to spend it basically studying the wand, seeing if I can dive any of its secrets out, and also setting more traps in my room.
Aha. What kind of traps you want to set?
Now they'll have the pitter-patter of little feet all around.
Mm-hmm.
If someone who is not associated with the crown collectors or invited to be in the vicinity tries to take anything out of my room, they're not going to have a good time.
Not having a good time is my favorite kind of good time. That's fair. Well, all right. Just give me an Arcana check with advantage, if you would, Ken.
19.
19? Yeah, you're pretty confident that your digs are well protected. Man, I really don't understand what the hell happened to that picture I made of Luna and her babies. What the freak? I swear I thought I posted it.
I swear you had a picture.
Maybe I gave it to Steph. Let me go look in my thing with her.
Because you can't post pictures of babies on the internet.
That's true.
Safety.
I'm very against that. I didn't send it to you, Bogey. I don't think I sent it to you. I don't think I sent it to Steph either. So weird.
I know you said that you had it.
I did have it. I thought I showed it to somebody.
Maybe one of your other personalities?
Or one of my other computers. Oh, damn. I think I'm out of luck. Just gonna have to move on with my day. Okay. Koza, is there anything you or Nila would like to do for this little short span of time?
Well, I think I would like to have a discussion with Nila about what to do with the Weave children.
Okay. You find her kind of pruning the tree a little, getting she's had the staff help her to fix up these hanging berries so that they're like little beds that they all can climb the tree and sit in like the lost boys from Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of sees you walk in. She's like, "Hey, Dad."
Hey, Nila. Listen, you've done a wonderful job with these Weave children. They seem like perfectly well-adjusted children, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that all of you are safe. But I've been thinking that it shouldn't just be your job to take care of them. You deserve, after everything I'm imagining you've been through, to live your life. Be who you want to be instead of taking care of these children. And, I was thinking maybe we could go into town, see if maybe an orphanage would be a better option, because you've done wonderful, and I think you deserve to relieve yourself of that cumbersome responsibility.
You see her kind of watching you speak, and she kind of puts her hand on your shoulder as far as she can reach, and just kind of this heavy-lidded smile creeps across her face, and she just says, "You've always thought of me before anybody else. You're always doing whatever you can to make sure I'm okay. I appreciate that. And, I definitely think it's a healthy thing for the children to be exposed to the town and what it has to offer, but Dad, look around us. This tower is a more welcome home than any orphanage could ever offer. Besides, they're the future of our clan. One day, one of them will lead it. That's the whole purpose of the Weed Children. But I understand, and I accept that it shouldn't just be me raising them. And I deserve a little freedom, as you say. So, perhaps we could, have some kind of camp they can attend or something. I don't know. I've heard people talk about that in Cobb, sending their children away to camp. Because I think exposing them to other children is very important.
I think so.
And I can't... Yeah. I tell you what. You go off on your adventures, and I'll set the kids up with what they need to succeed as the Weave Children. And I'll pass on the knowledge of our clan to them so that they have the best chance to be the leaders of our clan in the future. I might need to get a new dress or something. Definitely shopping.
Definitely need to get a new dress.
Yeah, this one's a little ratty, and she's kind of still wearing her barmaid garb.
Why don't I take you shopping?
I'd like that, Dad. I'll take you shopping too.
Sounds good.
Did somebody say shopping?
Shopping episode.
Let's go to the mall, kids.
Outfit shopping in particular?
Yeah. If that's one of the days, then definitely some shopping occurs. There's not a whole lot to choose from in High still. Definitely feels like an industry worth investing in from this town. If you all are to shop as extravagantly as Kravish is used to, but I'll say with 30 gold, you're able to procure a couple of very nice outfits for Nila. We'll say five dresses / hiking garb, and 30 gold will also set up all 6 of the Weave children with something of a wardrobe that quote unquote normal children dress in.
What is normal?
Yeah, but the week rounds out, and Axton meets you all for breakfast, and he is wearing a brand new, not completely metal, but shiny metal and wood arm.
Ooh. Well,
this one has 5 fingers instead of 4. The strings and twine and cords are all now internal instead of external. You don't see any moving gears, and you don't see any exposed pulleys or, all of the engineering and mechanics are internal to the panels of the arm. He just kind of shows it off, and he's like, look, this is what we came up with. I think it's going to definitely do, at least for a while. But I got to tell you guys, I'm really feeling this technology here. I wonder, I think that I could maybe use some of this artificing skills that Fink has to kind of make things better around the keep, and he's getting orders from people around the town for, like these things that they can use to help them, pull fish out of the lake, and I'm really kind of enjoying it. And I think I want to just hang out here a little longer. I mean, I don't want to hold you guys up, but I really feel like I should pursue this until I get it to where I can take this on the road. I mean, I'm assuming that wherever you're going, you're not going to all die horribly. And you see him instantly knock on his wooden arm. I mean, when I first joined, I was the heavy. I was the guy who could take the brunt of the pain and deal the brunt of the damage. But we're the crown collectors. Each one of us is a warrior, capable of slaying foes that we never dreamed we could encounter. And if you'll give me your blessing, I think my time here could serve the party in the future. And I really think that you guys will be just fine without me, at least for now.
We'll definitely miss your sword, Axton, but good luck.
Yeah, I'm going to need it. And you see his arm kind of, he twists and his hand spins around in like 360 degrees. And he's like, oh, hold on. And he twists a little knob and it slowly stops with a chatter. And he's like, still has a couple bugs to work out.
He's still working on that, huh?
And he is going to present you with a kind of a clothed package. It's got kind of a brown burlap wrapping. And he goes, here, I made this. Well, Fink made it, but I kind of helped him. It'll help you on your journey.
Oh, what is it?
I'll give him a bro hug.
Do you unwrap it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You take off the cloth, and it is a wood and metal hinged object. It kind of looks like something that has like arms and legs that's been folded into itself. And there's what looks like a bluish green jewel that's set into it. And he goes, just push that jewel and then stand back.
Is it going to start ticking?
Boom. As you set it down and press it, you hear this clockwork sound. and it starts, all these little arms start to unfold, and this object springs into the air and immediately starts flapping like these wings of leather, and it's almost like it almost looks like a bronze dragon, but it's made of wood and metal, and it immediately goes up into the air, and you see its little lights, or its little eyes light up, because that jewel, turns out, was actually on top of its head, and it has kind of like holes on its head, so you can see the glowing of this jewel through the eye holes, so it looks like it's got glowing green eyes. And then all of a sudden, everyone has an aerial view of where you're at.
Whoa! Okay.
You can all see above, and he says, "All right, hold on." And you notice that he's got this little wrist-mounted, kind of like I guess you could call it like a watch, but he's like pushing little jewels on it, and it takes off way up in the air and pelts the ground with a fireball.
Okay.
Or excuse me, fire bolt.
Well then.
Yeah. I called it Little Giovanni.
Oh.
And he says it'll shoot a firebolt. It doesn't work all the time. It's kind of a prototype, but I'm sure when you guys get back, I'll have a better one. But in the meantime, this will kind of give you guys a bird's eye view, and you don't have to attune to it or anything. And anybody who wants to tap into it can kind of see the area around you. It's got 100-foot range, and just be careful with it. You gotta fold it up and put it away before it'll be able to work the next day. But just don't leave it out. Its battery will die.
Something wrong. Triple A?
Yeah, definitely. So, anyway, I'm gonna head back to Fink's shop down in Heistel and continue. But yeah, I have every faith that you guys are gonna be all right.
Best wishes and good luck. And we'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Good luck to you too.
It's not like you're dying or anything.
Nah, they tried to kill me. All they got was my arm. And he's going to kind of give you guys a wave and individually give you all a nod and saunter on towards the Giant's Causeway.
Okay, then.
Okay, then.
Well, gentlemen, it's just us. Mary 4 right now.
Where do the crown collectors go from here? Let's see here. Let me bring up my map.
I thought it was southeast to where the needle was, right?
That is correct.
Is that where we're going?
Let's see. You guys can transport to Brackenshire. Has that circle. You know what? Hold on. Holding. I believe you can go. I think you can go further. Actually, I just sent the map to Ellie. I'll bring that up. There we go. You guys can transport to Dias Mordran's fortress and then leave east from there.
Right, we've done that before.
You've done that before. Yes, you have. I will. I'll put it in the chat where that is exactly. It's I'm looking at it. It's as far from Rathburn as Dane is. So it's, I should say, it's actually, you know what it is? It's in between Brackenshire and the Needle. So if you were to go there, where's my map? Here we go. No. I can give you an exact amount of distance, which will tell you how many days it takes you to travel there from. Okay. There's Dias Mordran's fortress. Let me bring everybody to the map, just so you can see what I'm seeing. There we go. Okay. measure, I believe I have this all set up in miles, which I'm sure Ellie will give me shit because she's using the metric system. From Dias Morgan's dungeon to the Needle is 53 miles, almost 54. And by horseback, let's find, I think it's like, is it 18 miles a day? Without being stealthy or fast. Because when you're stealthy, you get to make stealth checks. If you're fast, you lose penalty to wisdom checks. Normal is 24. Normal's 24 miles a day, so you can get there in 2 days. No problem.
Oh, I think I lost that ranger ability.
Oh, yeah. So is that what you wish to do? Travel to the fortress?
Sure. We're not going to be able to take any horses or anything with us, are we?
Sure, you can. You can take horses into a transportation circle. You mean when you're in Dias Morgan's fortress?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hallways are huge.
Yeah, but trying to go from Dias Morgan to the Needle, is that navigable by horseback?
Yes, you'd be taking the Western Road, as it's called.
Okay, cool.
Which, when I named that, the party was at the Needle, so it went west. Which is funny because the Needle is like the easternmost part of the Empire, so I don't think anybody would call it the Western Road. But that's what I called it, so that's what I'm going with. Yeah, there is a pathway through the woods. It's used mainly by like trade caravans that would trade with the Needle. If you have a military outpost that's relatively new, you imagine there's resources sent there and back.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Let's enjoy the comforts of home for just a few more days before we get back on the saddle. But
all right.
I think we could consider heading out at the beginning of this week.
Right. Well,
is that agreeable?
That's fine by me.
Your downtime is well earned and well enjoyed. Kervish, you definitely spend like a whole day packing. What should I take? What should I leave? I mean, I really like this shirt. I really think that this shirt goes well with these pants. My mandolin needs to be shined up, and definitely the staff helps you with that. Lest you be made to do it yourself.
I could slum it and do it myself, but
Koza, you and Nila kind of reconcile you leaving again, and she is confident that you will do great. She's found a school down in Highstill that she wants to investigate to see if it's a good fit for the Weave children. And she actually met somebody down in town that she fancies a little. And you're instantly suspicious of this person.
What are your intentions towards my daughter?
I cocked my newly acquired shotgun.
He is a very nice
a T-Rex,
and have many times. He is a very nice half-elven boy named Zell. They met while she was kind of looking for work. And he is a dishwasher at a local tavern, and she thinks he's cute.
A dishwasher, eh?
Yeah.
Don't embarrass
Not all of us can be adventurers.
I'll have to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to meet him.
Baranor, you have discovered that your little pup friends do in fact fit in the ring.
Okay.
The problem is she doesn't fit in there with them.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Now what you do know is time slows down inside the ring.
Yes.
So as long as they're in there, they will not age nearly as fast as normal, but they will be safe.
Yeah, one 1/4, I believe.
1/4, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So it's just something that you found. And I'll say over the next couple days that, you all are kind of getting ready for your trip. You kind of experimented, like, when they pop out, are they well fed? And turns out, yes, they've actually kind of learned to hunt small game like chipmunks. And there are little woodland creatures that technically don't exist in the ring, but for the purposes of this, they do. And I'm going to say that the wand, it doesn't reveal anything else to you. As a matter of fact, unless you attune to it, it doesn't really speak to you at all. You can use it as like a regular wand, but you feel like its potential is unlocked by attuning to it.
Oh, I'm definitely going to attune to it.
Mm-hmm. The eve of your journey comes to a close. The staff of Stonehelm Keep pack you with, I'll say, 10 grand rations each. So whatever rations you have, get rid of them and replace them with 10 grand rations. These are high quality cuts of dried meat. And if you consume them, they give you special benefits that I'll disclose once you eat them.
Heroes feast? No.
Kind of. Very muted version of that, but kind of like that, yeah. All right. The morning comes. You're all kind of breathing heavy with various motivations behind you. And your transportation circle in the basement awaits. Is there anything anybody wants to do before departing?
I'll make sure that I bring the earrings with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I feel like we're forgetting something.
Did I turn the iron off?
Don't worry, you have people for that.
Okay.
I'm actually going to grab, I don't know if we still have it or not, but if we still have it, I'm going to grab the Mask of Deception.
Oh, I have it with me.
Okay, you have it?
I do.
Well, you hold on to it then.
Just so you know, you can go to the magic items tab. Anything that's in there is stuff that you guys still have, and I'm not getting rid of the things that Axton or Maven have because they may return someday.
Right, but I'm sure we've sold something of this before.
Not anything that's in there now. Everything that is in there is stuff you guys still have.
Yeah, because the jar of spiritual containment, I believe, doesn't have the thing in it anymore. But
I think you sold that.
Did we sell that? Okay.
I believe you did.
Oh, okay, it just disappeared.
Yeah, I know. I'm cleaning it out.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting we have the dead man's tongue.
Yeah? You guys got a lot of good shit that you never use.
I know. That could be really useful, though. Sucks that you have to.
It could.
I guess you could attune to it, or unattune to something on it, and then reattune like a little bit later. But.
Well, are you talking about the dead man's tongue? Because you don't have to attune to that. Oh, no, it does. I think I changed that. That might be from when I uploaded it at first. I think I might have changed that. I'll have to check my work computer. I have a bunch of stuff on my work computer too, because I'm very productive.
Sure. Okay.
But yes, the Mask of Deception is definitely in y'all's inventory.
Cool. All right.
All right.
I feel like we're forgetting something. Always. That perpetual packing.
Yeah.
I just went on a work trip. Ask Noah about stuff I forgot. Because he works with me.
I packed the full tea set, the French horn, and the formal gown in case we have tea with the queen. Okay.
All right. All right. Do you do the honors?
Didn't you already have tea with the queen?
I had tea with a queen.
Oh, okay.
I'll gather everybody outside and get this going.
Outside.
All right.
I was in the basement.
Outside of the circle.
Oh, okay. Oh,
He has to activate it.
No.
With that, he uses his special chalk, writes the glyph for Dias Mordran's fortress, finishes the last little scribe, and a blue light illuminates the room, and all four of you dive into the portal. You're launched across space and time and find your feet hit hard on stone beneath you. The place is pitch black, but it is as you all have left it. I believe you guys set traps on the entrance. If I remember my history, I believe that you guys set up the entrance to be very well protected. You're able to navigate the halls. What's
Axton's been here. Axton said he'd been here on some of his downtime.
Yeah, cleaning the place. Well, there's also, by the way, there is a flapping little imp that is in service of the master. Yeah, his name is Gek. He's a little shit.
Yeah.
And but he is in service of the master of the fortress, so he's been keeping it clean and things like that. And also the gelatinous cube has been keeping the halls dust free, which you're able to circumnavigate and keep out of its way. And you are able to emerge from Dias Mordran's fortress unscathed. And the wilds of Valandiir lie before you. So, if we're all looking at the map, you can see which direction you have to go through the Garden of Mist. You really got to go into the heart of the Garden of Mist. And it is true to its name. It's a very foggy forest. It's 2 days' journey. So I'm going to need a perception check from two of you. One in the front, one in the back. Who's up front and who's in the back?
I'm in the front.
There's only four of you. All right. Let's get perception from both of you.
So that becomes a 10.
Okay.
So that's 21.
I rolled a 28.
Because I have reliable talent now.
Cool. That's great. It is. I mean that genuinely.
Yeah, one of the greater things that they did with the 2024 was move greater reliable talent down.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So your first day of travel is really uneventful. The forest is relatively quiet. I'll say that Baranor and Koza are definitely at home here. You're a little east of Dias Mordran's fortress to run into Koza's old village, or what's left of it, the ruins. So you don't have to worry about that, Koza, bringing up any bad memories. This is all kind of just nice forest that you're traveling through. Okay. And making camp towards the end of the day. It's a crisp night. It's early spring. There's still snow on the ground. You can all still see your breath, especially at night. You feel that dew point drop real fast once the sun goes down. So we can just have another round of perception checks for your second day of travel.
Yep.
And it's all very monotonous landscape. It's a very dense forest. So there's not a lot to see besides trees and shrubs and stuff like that.
Roll 21 again. But my passive is 22. For whatever.
Okay, we can go with your passive. Nope, that's fine.
21 for me as well.
Okay. Again, you guys notice, there's a downed tree at some point on the road. You're able to kind of weave around it, or blast it to smithereens with fire bolts and stuff. It's a little, nothing ever. A stray fireball in a forest of trees never really hurt anybody, did it?
Yeah. Smoky though.
But as you start to approach what looks like a clearing, you smell something on the air.
Listen.
And the trees start to resemble like the dead ash that you see, the dead ash trees, just kind of like patches of dead trees as the sky begins to open up. Towards the night, you get the feeling you were probably going to arrive tonight at the Needle. And you just notice the trees start to die. It becomes more and more dense, the death, and that's what you start to associate with this smell. You smell death and decay. And there is the sound of movement, a shuffling, almost like animals in the forest, but with much more relentlessness to it. And that's when you see the first skeleton. It's just standing there. And it turns and regards you and opens its slack mouth and reaches out with its hands and starts walking towards you. It's about 30 feet away from Baranor because you're out front.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Is it in a hurry or anything like that?
It's a skeleton. It's not in a hurry to go anywhere. It's just advancing on you. It's 20 feet now.
Koza, you've got cleric stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to come out of nowhere and firebolt it.
All right. Make your attack.
I mean, hey.
14 to hit.
Roll. 14 to hit. I didn't think I'd have to look this up.
I think that hits a skeleton.
I believe it hits a skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits.
Skeletons don't have a very high AC.
No.
All right, roll that damage.
18 points of fire damage.
Yeah, you blast it to bones. And as this thing just detonates with your firebolt and you just see like the dust settle, that's when you see like 30 more.
Oh my God.
And some of them are big. And one of them, because you have good passive wisdom, looks like it's wearing Blackguard armor.
Okay.
And it starts to advance. They all start to advance. And you guys all ready yourselves to position. And that's when you see the ground start to quake. And these black veins of necrotic energy spread out from a space in the middle of this group and envelop all of these skeletons, and you can see all of them struggling to move, and they all turn their heads and their eyeless skulls upward and shriek if they had vocal cords before all of the life or undeath life in them is stripped from them, and they all drop as these veins of black descend into the ground. And it's a moment as you look around for what the hell was that, when you see a figure step from between a pair of trees, wearing a long green cloak, completely bathed in shadows, with elven ears and a wisp of red hair from beneath the cloak. And just as this person steps in to the moonlight, we're going to end the session there.
No, I have to see what they look like.
That's not for me to say. Welcome to the Needle, everybody.
Oh boy!
Isn't this where everything started?
Yeah, this
It
is
is.
kind of the origin.
Yeah,
the summer home here, but the trees are quite lovely.
the party were all brought here because the Western Road, which is what you're on, was being harassed by something, and they found out that it was a bunch of spiders, and that's kind of what started the whole kit and caboodle up. So
Steph would have hated that.
Yeah, it was it was actually an Ettercap and his like spider underlings, but yeah, it was a good first session actually.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was recording back then, but I wasn't. I didn't start recording until some of you were in Brackenshire.
The 8th episode, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
That's when I started listening.
Yeah, I believe it's and it wasn't even a whole episode. Like, I think something was wrong with the recording. I wasn't using the setup I have now. I was using Craig or something like that, and it was like all spotty and it was really hard to do. So
yeah, I remember you kept having like gaps in audio, and it was really annoying.
Yeah, it was very annoying. It's all better now, though. I like my setup now. So, all right, folks, it is 6:00 on the dot. We are going to be back for Ellie's character's reveal first thing on the 30th of November. Hopefully y'all can make that. And Bogey, please run and go and give your wife a hug from all of us, please, because we miss her so much.
I most certainly will.
Yeah. And we're glad to have you back as well.
Yeah,
Glad to be back.
I know you were.
It was so shitty, like having two drills that close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be annoying.
All right, folks. Well, let's just kind of touch the issue of December too. The session after the 30th is going to be the 14th, and then the one after that is the 28th. So I'm okay if everybody has plans those 2 weekends. Just let me know, because if a certain number of people can't make it and there's already a smaller party now, then obviously I'll cancel it. And I think I'm going to probably do what I did last couple years and do a one shot.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I know right off I'm not going to be available on the 28th.
Yeah, I figured that's real close to the end of the year. But we can plan for maybe a one shot on the 14th. And anybody who can make it, including Ellie, and I'll communicate that with her. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. She seems like really awesome energy, and she sounds like a good addition to the party. So I'm excited for you guys all to meet her. So, and don't be shy. Say hi to her on Discord and stuff. She's a memer too. She likes to post memes. Obviously, you've seen a couple of hers, I think. So, But that's it for me. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks, okay? All right. Bye.